ਇਹ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਵੀ ਨੇ ਖਾਸ ਬਣਦੇ ਆਮ ਜਿਹੇ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਵੀ ਨੇ ਖਾਸ ਬਣਦੇ ਹੋ ਆਮ ਜਿਹੇ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਵੀ ਨੇ
इब्राम नहीं है छोरे बदनाम थे जो छोरे बड़ा नाम हो गए छोरे गुमनाम थे जो छोरे नाकाम थे जो छोरे बड़े काम करे छोरे ना आराम करे छोरे हम गाम आले छोरे ओवर करे शिफ्टे भरी सारी किश्ते किया अपने सिर पे सारे निभाए रिश्ते माइंड पूरा लिट है बॉडी पूरी फिट है रब जे यार फिर डरना किससे महंगी गाड़ियां ले ली चप्पले घिस घिस के मिटा देंगे जी खा जोरी जिस जिसके सीधा पिंडे चलाना मैं जानू पड़ता मैं कोन्यारे चक्रों में डिस विसके
ਸੋਲਜਰ ਬਣ ਸਿੱਖੋ ਮਾੜਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਕੱਢਣਾ ਹਾਰਡ ਵਰਕਿੰਗ ਵਾਲਾ ਰੂਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹ ਛੱਡਣਾ ਜਾਣਦਾ ਏ
My like it.
ਨਾਮ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਐ ਟ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਨੀ ਫੇਰੀ ਰੱਖੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਗੋਡੇ ਤੇ ਬੈਂਡ ਨੀ ਚੱਕਣੇ ਲਗੇ ਨਾ ਪੱਟੂ ਲਾਉਂਦਾ ਬਿੰਦ ਨੀ ਪਹਿਲੀਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਗੱਭਰੂ ਕਰਾਉਂਦਾ ਐਂਡ ਨੀ ਚਾਚੇ ਚ ਨਾਮ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਐ ਟ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਨੀ ਫੇਰੀ ਰੱਖੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਗੋਡੇ ਤੇ ਬੈਂਡ ਨੀ ਚੱਕਣੇ ਲਗੇ ਨਾ ਪੱਟੂ ਲਾਉਂਦਾ ਬਿੰਦ ਨੀ ਪਹਿਲੀਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਗੱਭਰੂ ਕਰਾਉਂਦਾ ਐਂਡ ਨੀ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਦੀ ਹਵਾ ਵੀ ਹੋਈ ਸਾਡੇ ਵੱਲ ਦੀ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਵੱਲ ਦੀ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੱਲ ਦੀ ਉਹ ਬਦਲੇ ਜੇ ਕੱਲ ਵੀ ਤਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੱਕਰ ਜਵਾਨੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਐ ਚੱਲਦੀ ਚੱਲਦੀ 40 ਤੇ ਮੱਠੀ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਸਪੀਡ ਗਾਣੇ ਗੱਡੀਆਂ 'ਚ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਰਿਪੀਟ ਯੂਈ ਕੰਡੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਬਾਡੀ ਛੱਡਦੀ ਆ ਹੀਟ ਸਿਰ ਹਿਲਦੇ ਆ ਜਾਪੇ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਚੜ ਗਈ ਆ ਨੀਟ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਚੁੱਪਦੇ ਰਹਾਂ ਚ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਕੰਡੇ ਕੱਢਣੀ ਅੱਖ ਦੇ ਇਸ਼ਾਰੇ ਨੇ ਰੱਖੇ ਚੰਡਨੀ ਆਏ ਸਾਲੇ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਗਾਣਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਪੰਡਨੀ ਰੱਬ ਸੁੱਖ ਰੱਖੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਡਿਪੈਂਡ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਓ ਚਰਚੇ ਚ ਨਾਮ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਐ ਟ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਫੇਰੀ ਰੱਖੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਗੋਡੇ ਤੇ ਬੈਂਡ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੱਕਣੇ ਲਗੇ ਨਾ ਪੱਟੂ ਲਾਉਂਦਾ ਬਿੰਦ ਨੀ ਪਹਿਲੀਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਗੱਭਰੂ ਕਰਾਉਂਦਾ ਐਂਡ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਾਉ ਸਰਦੀ ਆ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਯਾਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਚੜ ਤੋਂ ਰੁਕਿਆ ਨਾ ਰੁਕਦਾ ਏ ਵਹਿਮ ਕਰ ਦੋ ਮੈਂ ਖਤਵਣੇ ਦਬਾਉਣੇ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਛੱਡ ਦੋ ਰੱਖ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਪੱਟ ਕੇ ਗੱਭਰੂ ਜੜ ਤੋਂ ਗਲ ਤੋਂ ਪਲਾਈਟ ਬੋਲੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਰਾਈਟ ਕੰਮ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਕੀਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਤਾਈਂ ਪੀਕ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਗੱਲੋਂ ਆ ਕੇ ਜੇ ਕੋ ਟੱਪਦਾ ਏ ਲੀਗ ਫੇਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਰਦੀ ਏ ਠੀਕ ਵੇਲੋ ਖੁੱਲੀਆਂ ਖਰਾਕਾਂ ਢੇਲੀ ਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਡੰਡ ਨੀ ਨੱਕੋ ਨੱਕ ਭਰ ਕੇ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਸੰਦ ਨੀ ਚਿੱਟੇ ਦਿਨ ਚੋਬਰ ਚੜਾਉਂਦੇ ਚੰਦ ਨੀ ਵੈਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਛੋਟੇ ਡੇਡੇ ਹੈਂਡ ਨੀ ਉਹ ਚਾਚੇ ਚ ਨਾਮ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਐ ਟ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਨੀ ਫੇਰੀ ਰੱਖੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਗੋਡੇ ਤੇ ਬੈਂਡ ਨੀ ਚੱਕਣੇ ਲਗੇ ਨਾ ਪੱਟੂ ਲਾਉਂਦਾ ਬਿੰਦ ਨੀ ਪਹਿਲੀਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਗੱਭਰੂ ਕਰਾਉਂਦਾ ਐਂਡ ਨੀ ਚਾਚੇ ਚ ਨਾਮ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਐ ਟ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਨੀ ਫੇਰੀ ਰੱਖੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਗੋਡੇ ਤੇ ਬੈਂਡ ਨੀ ਚੱਕਣੇ ਲਗੇ ਨਾ ਪੱਟੂ ਲਾਉਂਦਾ ਬਿੰਦ ਨੀ ਪਹਿਲੀਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਗੱਭਰੂ ਕਰਾਉਂਦਾ ਐਂਡ ਨੀ
My like it.
ਨਾਮ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਐ ਟ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਨੀ ਫੇਰੀ ਰੱਖੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਗੋਡੇ ਤੇ ਬੈਂਡ ਨੀ ਚੱਕਣੇ ਲਗੇ ਨਾ
My like it. My like it.
starts with you. Everything you ever wanted, everything you ever dreamed, it starts now, it starts today. There is no tomorrow. I'm tired of your fucking excuses, nigga. Ain't nobody coming to save you, nigga. It's you. It's you versus you, nigga. So how bad you want this shit, huh? Come on. Yeah. My social meter ran out, so you know I'm finna dip. I just wanna stack this cake, stay out the way, yeah, that's it. Ain't nobody gave a damn, but a young nigga till you got rich. I'm geeking way too hard, yeah, I'm finna glitch. I just changed my whole lifestyle, I just cut off dead weight. Now they know I'm fly as shit. We always have potential, I'm just cashing in my chips. Melly Mike just like Steph, yeah, cause he don't miss. I don't give my energy to nobody except my clique. Yeah, I just spent a couple bands eating good on a dish. They don't say congratulations, but you know they watch that shit. I ain't even gon' get mad, I'm young, black and rich. She tryna sell me lies, bitch, I ain't buying shit.
Hey everyone, welcome back, and let's write some more neat code today. So today let's solve Facebook's most asked question of 2021, verifying an alien dictionary. And the funny thing is, I think this was also Facebook's most asked question of 2020, so I guess they really like to reuse questions. But let's get into the problem, and you might recognize that we've actually solved a very similar problem to this as before. We've solved the alien dictionary problem, which was actually a very hard problem. And the good news is that this problem is a lot easier, and this problem itself is actually a sub-problem of that alien dictionary problem. So if you've solved that before, you'll definitely know how to solve this. If you haven't solved that before, I think that other problem is a really good follow-up problem to this problem. And I will probably link it below if you want to take a look at the solution for that problem as well. But for this, the premise of the problem is pretty similar. So we're given an alien language that happens to use all 26 lowercase English letters. But the difference is that in the alien dictionary language, these 26 English characters, A, B, C, etc., right, they could be in a different order than the A through Z order that we are all familiar with. Though the alien order could be some permutation of the ABC order. And we are given a sequence of words of the alien language that are or should be in sorted order based on that alien language. And we want to return true if these words are actually sorted based on the alien language, and we want to return false if they're not sorted based on the alien language. And we are actually given what the alien ordering happens to be. So instead of A, B, C, D, all the way to Z, the alien language in this problem is actually in a different order. You can see it's H, L, A, B, etc., etc., right? So it's a different order than we are familiar with. And we're also given this list of words that should be sorted in order. Now, obviously, in real English, these two words are sorted. How do we know that hello comes before LeetCode in English order? Because we look at the first character, right? We compare character by character. These two characters are different, right? The first different characters are how we compare two words, right? Since these characters are different, we want to know, okay, which one of these characters comes first? Of course, we know H is less than L in English order, right? H comes before L in the English language, right? So of course, in real English, H, hello, is going to come before LeetCode. Is that also true in the alien language? Well, let's take a look. So we're looking for characters H and L. We can see that H is actually the first character in the alien language, and L is the second character in the alien language. So yes, even in this alien language, these two words are sorted correctly, so we return true. Of course, we can verify the alien dictionary based on the first differing character, but suppose we were given two words such as these words. We compare character by character, right? We were looking for the first differing character. So we look at the first characters, they're both H, so they're not different. So we're going to look for the next character that happens to actually be different. We find an E and an E, so again, we shift. Now, notice how one word was a prefix of the other because we reached the end of one string, but we did not reach the end of the other string. So in this case, this word was a prefix of the other word. So then the question becomes, which one of these words is supposed to go first? Basically, it works the same way as in English. If one of the words happens to be a prefix of the other word, then the smaller word goes first. So therefore, this is a true alien dictionary, right? This is verified as true. But if it was the opposite, if we had, he come after hello, that would be wrong, right? Because we reached the end of the second string, but then there's still some characters left in the first string, so this would basically be false, right? We can't have something like that happen. And if you kind of want to know why, it's basically, okay, we reached the end of this string, so it's basically an empty character, and here we have an L, so what is smaller? Technically, an empty character, aka a space or whatever you want to call it, is always going to be smaller than any real character. So that's why he comes before hello. So those are the only two rules that you really have to note to verify this alien dictionary. So now we can finally get into the code. Now let's get into the code. You can see that I basically summarized the two rules that we have up above. Basically, we're looking for the first differing character. If we can find it, if we can't find the first differing character, that means one word is a prefix of the other. If word A is a prefix of word B, then word A must come before word B, so word B must come after word A. So the first thing we want to do is actually get the index of every single character and put it in like a hash map or something, so that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to go through for every index character pair in our input order string. In Python, you can enumerate it to get the index and the character at the same time. We're going to use the character as a key, and we're going to use the index as the value. So that's pretty much what I'm doing with this one line. So then when we do find the first differing characters, we'll be able to compare which one actually comes first in the alien dictionary. So then we just need to go through every pair of words in our words array. Make sure that every pair of words is in order. So we can do that pretty simply by going through every single word, the length of words -1, because we're going to be comparing every single pair, every adjacent pair, so we can get those words now, word 1 and word 2 that we're going to be comparing. Word 1 is going to be the word at index word 2 is going to be the word at index I+1. And now we just want to go through character by character in the words. We're going to go in range of length of word 1 because if the words happen to be similar, or if word 1 is a prefix of word 2, then we can reach the end of word 1 and we'll verify that it was in correct order. But if we reach the end of word 2 before we reach the end of word 1, in which case this would happen, right? The J happened to be the length of word 2, but somehow we were still in bounds for word 1. That means that word 2 is a prefix of word 1, which is not allowed. So if we ever reach this condition, that means we have determined that this is not verified. We have to return false in this case. We reached the end of word 2 before we reached the end of word 1, and we didn't encounter any differing characters, and word 2 obviously comes after word 1. You can see that I+1. So in that case, we would have to return false. If we don't reach that case, we're going to be looking for the first differing character. So let's go character by character. If the character in word 1 is not equal to the character in word 2, then we have found our first differing character. Now we just want to verify that the character in word 1 comes before the character in word 2 in our order index map. So if that's not the case, basically, if order index of word 2, the character in word 2, happens to be less than the order index of the character in word 1, that means we do not have a verified word list, right? Because word 2 is supposed to be greater than word 1. The character in word 2 is supposed to be greater than the character in word 1. If we have the opposite, that means that this is not verified. That means we have to return false. But if the opposite is true, that means these two words are verified. We're not going to return true quite yet because we might still have some words to iterate through, but at the very least, we can go ahead and break out of this for loop, meaning we can stop comparing these two words. We already found the first differing character and it happened to be valid, so we don't have to continue. And if we end up going through every single adjacent pair of words in our words list and we never return false, either by finding differing characters or by finding some prefix that was out of order, then we can go ahead and once the loop is done executing, we can go ahead and return true all the way outside of our for loop. And of course, I always have typos. For some reason, I took the length of words, but we actually want to take the length of words. That's what it's actually called. And then that gives us the optimal solution. As you can see, it runs pretty efficiently. Basically, the overall time complexity is the total number of